Allah, point number 81, the saying of Imam al-Barbahari, rahimahullah, وَالْإِيمَانُ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يُعَذِّبُ الْخَلْقَ فِي النَّارِ فِي الْأَغْلَالِ وَالْأَنْكَالِ وَالسَّلَاسِلِ وَالنَّارُ فِي أَجْوَافِهِمْ وَفَوْقَهُمْ وَتَحْتَهُمْ وذلك أن الجهمية منهم هشام الفوطي قال إنما يعذب الله عند النار ردا على الله ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. That Imam al-Barbahari rahimahullah said, and to have eemaan that Allah will punish the creation in the fire, in shackles, fetters and chains. The fire will be inside them, and above them and below them. Whereas the Jahmiyyah, among them Hisham al-Futi, said, Allah will only punish them near the fire, next to the fire, in rebuttal of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Just very briefly, with regard to this person mentioned here, whom he is refuting amongst others, Hisham al-Futi, some of the in the footnotes they mention that Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar said about him in Lisan al-Mizan, that this person being refuted here, Hisham, he was Hisham ibn Umar al-Futi, with the Dhamma on the Fa and the Sukoon on the Waw, al-Futi. He was from the companions of Al-Hudayl, and he was a caller to the position of the Mu'tazila. Furthermore, Shaykh as-Suhaimi, he mentions in his explanation, or in his lectures of the in explanation, Shaykh as-Suhaimi said that his teacher was Al-Hudayl, who is well known as Allaah, and that he had this deviated belief that those who enter the hellfire, it will become like their very nature. After they've been in the fire for some time, they'll become of the same nature as the fire. So it'll become natural for them, to the extent that they will feel delight in the fire. It'll become like the very, very nature for them, and they'll feel delight in it. Deviation he came up with. And then his student, the one mentioned here, Hisham al-Futi, he differed with his teacher. And he refused to accept that they would actually enter the fire. He said, no, rather they will be punished by next to the fire. I mean, they'll be scorched to the outside the fire, next to it, and be scorched outside it. So we saw Imam al-Barbahari refuted that saying. Shaykh Fawzan, hafidhullah, he said in explanation, he's saying, وَالْإِيمَانُ بِأَنَّ اللَّهُ يُعَذِّبُ الْخَلْقَ فِي النَّارِ فِي الْأَغْلَالِ وَالْأَنْكَالِ وَالسَّلَاسِلِ وَالنَّارُ فِي أَجْوَافِهِمْ وَفَوْقَهُمْ وَتَحْتَهُمْ. And to have eemaan, to truly believe that Allah will punish the creation in the fire, in chains, in shackles, fetters and chains. The fire will be inside them, and above them, and beneath them. Shaykh Fawzan said, Allah the Majestic and Most High will cause the hellfire to blaze with the bodies of the disbelievers. So they are firewood for the fire of hell. فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ وَقُودُ النَّارِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ وَقُودُ النَّارِ. Surah Al-Imran, the 3rd Surah, Ayah 10, with the explanation, and they, the disbelievers, are fuel for the fire. Shaykh Fawzan said, it will burn with them and use their bodies as fuel, and Allah's refuge is sought. فَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا قُطِّعَتْ لَهُمْ ثِيَابٌ مِّن نَارٍ يُصَبُّ مِنْ فَوْقِ رُؤُوسِهِمُ الْحَمِيمُ يُسْحَرُ بِهِ مَا فِي بُطُونِهِمْ وَالْجُلُودِ وَلَهُمْ مَقَامِعُ مِنْ حَدِيدٍ. Surah Al-Hajj, 22nd Surah, ayahs 19 to 21. With the explanation, so those who disbelieve will have garments of fire cut out for them. Boiling water will be poured down from above upon their heads. It will melt their insides and their skins. And there will be for them hooked rods of iron with which they will be beaten. Shaykh Fawzan said, so Allah mentioned that the torment will occur upon the bodies of the disbelievers. and that the fire will burn with them and blaze away, consuming them. يُصَبُّ مِنْ فَوْقِ رُؤُوسِهِمُ الْحَمِيمُ, the same ayah, Surah Al-Hajj, ayah 21, the explanation. Rather, that boiling water will be poured down upon their heads from above. Then Shaykh Fawzan said, and from the Mu'tazila there are those who said, they will not be tormented, they will not be tortured, and the fire will not blaze away, burning their bodies. Rather, they will be punished next to the fire, by the fire only. But as for their bodies, then they will not actually burn, they will not actually blaze and burn. Whereas Allah the Majestic and Most High says in the Quran that they are the fuel of the fire. And the Prophet ﷺ said, أَوَّلُ مَنْ تُسَعَّرُ بِهِمُ النَّارِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ الْعَالِمُ الَّذِي لَا يَعْمَلُ بِعِلْمِهِ وَالْمُتَصَدِّقُ الَّذِي يُرَائِي فِي صَدَقَتِهِ وَالْمُجَاهِدُ الَّذِي يُرَائِي بِجِهَادِهِ. Hadith reported by Muslim as Hadith 1905 from Hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. The translation, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the first of those for whom the fire will blaze on the day of resurrection will be a scholar who did not act upon his knowledge, and the one who gave in charity, who shows off in giving charity, and the mujahid, the one who fought in Allah's path, who fought to show off. The Shaykh Fawzan said, Al-Aghlal, the word Al-Aghlal, literally translated as shackles, its meaning is that his hands will be tied, will be bound to his neck, and Allah's refuge is sought. And Al-Amkal, fetters, are instruments of torture. These fetters, iron fetters, are instruments of torture. And the Shaykh quotes the ayah, إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَلَاسِلَ وَأَغْلَالًا وَسَعِيرًا. Surah Al-Insan, 76th Surah, ayah 4, with the explanation, we have prepared for the disbelievers iron chains and fetters to bind their hands and a blazing fire. إِنَّ لَدَيْنَا أَمْكَالًا وَجَحِيمًا. Surah Al-Muzammil, the 73rd Surah, ayah 12, with the explanation, we have fetters and a raging fire. Shaykh Fawzan said, this word Al-Amkal, fetters, they are instruments of torture, and Allah's refuge is sought. Chains and shackles and a blazing fire. وَالنَّارُ فِي أَجْوَافِهِمْ وَفَوْقَهُمْ وَتَحْتَهُمْ. And the fire will be in their bellies, inside of them, and above them, and beneath them. لَهُمْ مِنْ جَهَنَّمَ مِهَادٌ وَمِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ غَوَاشٌ وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الظَّالِمِينَ. Surah Al-A'raf, the 7th Surah, ayah 41, with the explanation, they, the disbelievers, will have the hellfire as a bed. Over them there will be coverings of fire. And likewise, we will recompense the disbelieving wrongdoers. Surah Al-A'raf, 7th Surah, ayah 41.